Hey, hi everybody. Hi, this is Dr. Ken Muich, Fibromyalgia Wellness Center, Stetson Chiropractic Clinic, and we're in Coronado, California, and it's a continuation of a little vacation and a big celebration, the 50th wedding anniversary of my lovely wife Cindy and myself, and so we had just a wonderful time. That's why. Our party was Monday. That's why I did not do a presentation on Monday. And so I think this is number 70 or 71 now that we haven't. Again, we've saved each and every one of these. So if you're someone that's new or you want to find out what we've been talking about in the past, we've saved each and every one of these. So you can just go in the Fibromyalgia Wellness Center and look up, and we've got subjects on a variety of different topics, mainly fibromyalgia, but also fibromyalgia related subjects, different things, everything from medications to cures, supposed cures, to a variety of people that we've talked about and mentioned and so forth. And I want to thank everybody for sending in information concerning different subjects. We try to cover them if we find them there are pertinent. And that's what this is all about today. Let's get some things straight about fibromyalgia and make sure that you understand a little bit more about fibromyalgia, what to consider, what not to consider, what to do, what not to do. Most of my information is research-based, factual. All of it, I can honestly say that I've either used in my clinic on patients or that I have read in reputable journals. And so I'm not just throwing things out if it's something of my opinion. So anyway, so that's what we're going to really talk about today. A number of wide and varied subjects of people that have sent in. I'd like to thank each and every one of you, Barbie Engel especially, that sent me some information that keeps me in touch with various things that are going on. It's so many, not only patients that we've had, but also you out there that send me information. Hi, Gail. Good afternoon. Hope all is well. And yes, we are number 71 today. That's great. So the first thing I want to talk about is something that recently was on Facebook. I I try not to spend that much time on Facebook, but I have to because my live video is on Facebook. And so there was a company that was trying to sell certain things. You may very well have seen them if you've been on Facebook. And the big thing is they're trying to sell a product that is for fibromyalgia patients. And the big headline is do not use turmeric because apparently that is bad for fibromyalgia patients. And their product obviously is for sale. And it's made up of a number of herbal aspects from a variety of different areas and locations, so forth. And they say that this is a cure for fibromyalgia. Well, first of all, I don't see any research on it. That's number one. That's one thing that I use that will tell me whether or not something is pertinent or not. Is there any research? Or are people just trying to sell a product? Turmeric is in itself an anti-inflammatory for pain and so forth. Should really be good for just about anybody that has any pains. And I just read in the paper today that 55% of all people have some form of arthritis, osteoarthritis, rheumatoid, psoriatic. If you've been watching television, there you go. Yeah, but you see a lot of these commercials on television for psoriatic. That's the big thing now, psoriatic rheumatic conditions, where it actually is destructive, bone destructive, and causes a lot of pain. But the bottom line is that, look, if you're taking turmeric and it's helping a certain condition and so forth, continue on it. You know, that's the most important thing. The other thing is that was sent to me concerning a group, new apparent fibromyalgia group that is espousing an anti-inflammatory diet, leaky gut a cause of fibro, and continue here online. There's a question that came out. I'll get to that in just a moment. But anyway, bottom line is that this other fibromyalgia treatment center. Not sure, know exactly, it's fibromyalgia healthcare, whatever, is espousing something that we were talking about for decades, Dr. St. Amand and myself in the Fibromyalgia Wellness Center, and that is really an anti-inflammatory removal of anything that would cause inflammation in that you're eating, which would include sugar, gluten, trans fatty acids, and dairy. I've talked about this numerous times, and they're espousing on it as far as the major reason why you could actually reverse or take care of fibromyalgia. It is part of what we're dealing with as far as our protocol is concerned. If you've been with us before, very, very important part as you detox and remove things that you can control out of your diet that we know many of these are inflammatory. If you take anything out of your diet for 2 weeks, if you want to find out if you're having a problem, you take it out of your diet for 2 weeks and then you add it. You'll find out very, very quickly as to whether or not you're having a reaction. It could be, and I've used the term or the example of the seven dwarfs: itchy, scratchy, sneezy, dopey, headachy, bloaty, all those things you'd have if you've taken out of your diet and then you add it, see, because it could be either addictive or it could be causing inflammation. And many times patients will come back literally within a week after they've had this restricted what we call hypoglycemic diet. That's what it is. And tell us, geez, I can taste foods I didn't know before, or I don't have those pains I have anymore. My stomach is feeling better. My headache is gone, so forth and so on. So yes, the removal of these inflammatory foods from your diet, extremely important that you know what is actually adding gasoline to the fire. And that's very, very important for you to know. Now, bottom line is this. Look, if you are using something that you know, again, that is helping you and your symptoms, then use it. There are a lot of things out there that can help you for fibromyalgia and other related conditions. Keep in mind, I said before, every person that has fibromyalgia has some other secondary condition, oftentimes multiple conditions. Some you don't even know about. It might be osteoarthritis or rheumatoid arthritis, or it could be some other condition. There's a lot of masquerading conditions out there that can cover up fibromyalgia. Well, you don't even know you have fibromyalgia, and that's something we covered numerous times. Again, there's at least 15 conditions, including those that I mentioned, and lupus, and a variety of other ones that mimic fibromyalgia. And so when we're treating fibromyalgia, we're not treating these other conditions as much as we're helping these conditions reduce the level of discomfort that you're having. So if we take care of the fibromyalgia, the other conditions symptoms should reduce, but not reverse. You can't reverse osteoarthritis. You can't reverse rheumatoid arthritis and many of the other ones, okay? But you can certainly control them. Some of them you can actually control even to the point where you don't need any medications, including diabetes. Believe it or not, you can do that in many instances, unless, of course, it's juvenile, then you're born with it, and then you have a real problem. But many of the diabetic conditions themselves are just based upon a proper dietary thing and making sure you take care of yourself and stay on it. So the difference is this. We've been treating fibromyalgia patients for decades. I have since 1990, so that's over 30 years. And so the thing that we're trying to deal with here is that if you have symptoms that you want to control, okay, do these other things. Take your meds or do whatever you want to do. If you geez, turmeric is really helping me, or whatever it might be, great, then take those. But if you're tired of just controlling the symptoms and you get away from taking the things that are helping the pain and inflammation, it's time for you to look at taking care of the condition. The condition always leads to symptoms. And so what we try to deal with are the conditions in our fibromyalgia treatment program. And we find that once patients get on our protocol, it really takes care of the condition of fibromyalgia. And in doing so, it also reduces, like I have said, the other symptoms of the other conditions that you may have. It doesn't reverse them, the other conditions, but it certainly does alleviate a lot of the symptoms that you have. One of the things that is very, very common that I've spoken about before that is in my book that we've talked about. It's a pharmaceutical product that is the first one that came out as an answer, supposedly, to fibromyalgia. And it's called Lyrica. Now, Lyrica is, and I still try to find specific research on Lyrica and fibromyalgia patients, and there's not that much. There really isn't. And yet, Lyrica has been sold for many conditions, shall we say. And so, Lyrica has been noted by now to be for fibromyalgia. Well, this is from the Journal of American Medical Association, and I want to make sure that I read it correctly. So, but the median out-of-pocket cost of 49 top-selling prescription drugs increased by 76% between 2012 and 2017. 16 drugs more than doubled in price over the same period. One of them, Lyrica, raised its prices from $174 in 2012 to $411 in 2017. This is from the Journal of American Medical Association. I'm not really crazy about the aspect of Lyrica, because in my book and what I've talked about is there are dozens of side effects from Lyrica. And many of the side effects are the same things that people are suffering with fibromyalgia. So it might take care of a few of your symptoms. On the other hand, it might be worsening a lot of the other ones, or even adding new ones on. And that bothers me. That really bothers me, that a medication do that. But the FDA, in its way of thinking, has said, and I've mentioned it before, if it helps in certain areas, even if it makes other areas worse, then it's okay. I don't quite understand that, but anyway, Lyrica was actually sold illegally, and this is a fact, in 2009, 2010, I believe, and it was actually charged quite a bit for trying to sell the drug for things that was not even tested for or researched on. Keep in mind, when a company brings out a medication, a pharmaceutical product, they do their own testing on this, not the FDA. And then they send this testing in to the FDA for validation. And the FDA says, yeah, okay, right? Yeah, you can use it. Which is just, to me, I can't understand it. So, Chrissy says, can't function without it. Like I say, if you're taking something and you can't function without it, then I'm not going to tell you not to take it. Just read the extras, read the side effects, make sure you know what they are, and make sure they're not worsening something else that you already have, or some new things that are coming out. Okay? And so, again, I can't tell you don't take it. I'm just telling you, make sure you look at the overall aspect of the medication that you're taking and how they're making a lot of money. I don't know, Chrissy, if you've ever done the detox, the removal of sugar, gluten, trans fatty acids, and dairy out of your diet. That might help also. There's a variety of other things. But again, I'm sorry to see that you're having to take that, and I'm happy to see that you're having a good response, but make sure that it's not causing other secondary conditions or symptoms. Gail, she says, is leaky gut or cause of fibromyalgia? No, it's not, although there's a lot of fibromyalgia patients that have celiac disease and other intestinal problems. I believe that I'm just trying to read some of the things that are coming up. Let's see, I'm trying to remember what I was talking about. Okay, there's a lot of secondary conditions that fibromyalgia patients have, and I believe that the intestinal problem is very, very common with fibromyalgia patients. But I believe also that most of them are secondary conditions. Let's see, Gail, I found Lyrica to be an evil med, and you're med free of it. Okay, again, I wish I could say that if I had my choice, I would work and try to find everything I possibly could to find something other than Lyrica. The three that I find that are most common are used Lyrica, Cymbalta, and Savella. And all of them have side effects, a number of side effects that mimic those that you already have or make those worse, and other ones that actually come about that are new symptoms. That's all I can say about it. It's not heaven sent or anything else like this. It was not really made for fibromyalgia, and people are making a lot of money off it. Chrissy, you have your own chiropractor? Great. Our program is not a chiropractic program, I'm sorry to say. For those chiropractors out there that want to have an answer for this, working with this for so long, I find that chiropractic is important for the secondary conditions. And that's great because most of the research that is done in chiropractic actually shows that chiropractic stimulates endorphins, which are natural pain relievers for treatment. And so that in itself is a good aspect. But for the total treatment of fibromyalgia, it helps in the secondary conditions, but it's not an answer for it based upon our conditional research. And that's a research based upon Dr. Saint Amand, who works out of UCLA. Sevilla gave me horrible nightmares. Of all of the medications out there, the two worst that I've come across for secondary symptoms are Sevilla. Let's see, we have Sevilla, and also opioids. Those are the ones that cause the most secondary aspects and conditions itself. So, but Lyrica, Savella, and Cymbalta are the three most common. And again, I just believe they're out there just because of the looseness of the FDA itself. And I've talked about this before on other talks itself. So I can't thank you enough, Chrissy and Gail, for joining in. If you have any questions, if you want to really look into our conditional treatment, please feel free to look out under the Fibromyalgia Wellness Center, or you can call us at the clinic 480-948-4955, 480-948-4955, and I'll answer your questions, and I'll tell you what it entails. And I'm actually treating patients now online. I'm actually treating patients that long distance, and we're getting some real good results. I want to thank you again for joining us today. If you have information on other aspects of fibromyalgia treatment, please feel free to send it to me, and I'll take a look at it, and I'll give you my honest opinion based upon my research on it and clinical experience. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And again, any other information you have, send it out, get in touch with me. I'll be as honest as I can to answer all your questions. Again, this is Dr. Ken Muich, Fibromyalgia Wellness Center, Stetson Chiropractic Clinic. Yes, Chrissy, you have a great day also. And each and every one of you out there, thank you so very, very much for making this really such a successful program. We'll continue doing this next Monday, 12:30. And we'll be on with another fun-filled, fact-filled subject on fibromyalgia and other related subjects. Thank you so very, very much. Got to double check. Whoop, took almost too much time. My apologies. Hope everybody has a super week. Take care. See you next week. Bye-bye.